The key to the last, fourth layer of the matrix, the one in our minds, is ending our collective illusions. We still have to deal with the last remnants of those among us, the service to self modalities who currently worship this false Satan egregore. The awakening is happening, though, and I suspect even these program members, these NPC characters of the artificial intelligence matrix, are realizing the falsehood of their gods. The key is each of us, as we uproot the ideologies present inside of us that support giving or taking of energy from anyone, abuse of self or other in any form. All those things that support the Satan egregore. Any feelings of guilt, shame, and sin. Any ideas of prejudice against self, low self-worth of the martyr complex, or vice versa, the need to be the one, the Messiah complex, more important than anyone. If we have that extreme swing of the spectrum, that slide to that end of the spectrum, there is no one key, genetically or otherwise. We are all the key. We are all the master key. We are all Neos. Once Smiths of the matrix, the NPCs, the agents, system agents, those without the souls, beholden to the hive mind, the mantid hive mind, artificial intelligence matrix. We were all once Smiths, woken up to the double-edged sword that these the negative extraterrestrial faction of ET species fooled us with. With the removal of these hexagonal control structures, these layers that were taking up space in our energy centers, supplanting the place of our true connections to our higher self, the planet, and most of all the blocks to each of our respective sources gone, our own inner reset will quicken at a rapid but gentle rate. It will seem hard at first, just as it was said most powerfully in the Matrix movie when Neo was ejected from the pods. Why do my eyes hurt? You have never used them before. What are you doing to my body? We're rebuilding your atrophied muscles even, reclaiming our energy centers. Will be at first like using muscles, organs we have not used. These artificial intelligence matrix control structures to do with the Saturn moon matrix may be destroyed, but we still have to do the work. We still have to look at the mental habits, the imprints and scars of this tree of death has had upon us, this inversion reality that we've all been part of. It is our choice to reconnect to all that we are in reality, been shut off from it in this illusionary matrix, the digital matrix of the false inversion. The charlatans in our truth community need to be avoided at all costs at this stage. One of the most common ways we fail is to think we need help from outside of us, giving our power away, doubting ourselves' ability to understand the hows and whys resulting from living in an insane world. Don't get lost too much in any one particular rabbit hole. Those are just little snares, little traps, little logic traps. You can feel the source. The way is through love. Fear is illusionary. Fear comes from the ego. Don't live within your ego. That's connection. The Kabbalistic glyph, the symbol for Saturn, was the hooked cross. It's a hooked cross where religion, symbolically, as I interpret that, the religion hooks people, keeps them trapped, the way that it's set up as part of that digital control matrix. But giving your power away, getting lost in rabbit holes of the earth is flat, of this, that, and the other. It's just more ways of gaslighting, more ways of controlling, to be lost in these. We have control of our immediate surroundings. Develop your intuition, go within, activate your heart chakra. Love is real, is the only real facet that we have at this point. But there's a valid need to know more about yourself, needing to get soul readings from others, these things, quantum healings from others, and the truth. I mean, I've been approached with this many times over. It's people just wanting inordinate amounts of money for a soul reading, and it's really unnecessary. It's completely unnecessary. In fact, now that these control structures are destroyed, we have the ability to heal and find out more about ourselves from our own higher self, reconnection, cleared via our energy chakras, flow being balanced. So, I mean, people trying to come at you with getting quantum hypnosis readings and this, that, and the other. Snake oil salesmen. There's many charlatans out there trying to sell their t-shirts. It's ridiculous. More of the same. Snake oil salesmen with technology or healing practices that suggest the removal of chakras, which is impossible, by the way. These are nothing but pushed by the service to self. Draco souls incarnate in human form are heavily influenced by the Draco. Not to mention the fact that so many books seemingly answered spiritual matters. They know what our wounds are. Not to mention that fact. They purposely say the convenient internet truth we want to hear. Do not fall for it. They were either channeled by the artificial intelligence matrix or dictated via time travel to scribes in the ancient times to gain our respect for them, or even inserted as overrights to the original teacher's teachings and the many restarts of history done by the Draco and allies. Always with all the key trigger words of just enough truth and wisdom of the original text to get us on the hook. Big hook to get you to give away your power. That Kabbalistic symbol for Saturn is a hook cross. I'll leave it as the photo for this video thumbnail. Some very clear examples of this are the Law of One and the 7 versions of the Book of Thoth, all of which were Marduk's projects to set up his return to Earth as king. Marduk's return failed, epically, by the way, but that does not stop the ones in the programs and the bad military who still be live, who believe the lie, believe, BE-LIE, lie, -VE, the promises the Anunnaki made them. I don't like to talk about these ordeals and stuff we've all gone through, the death that resulted from the worship of Luciferianism for people, all you people lost in those Necronomicon Facebook groups, realizing that your demons, your God, was a fictitious artificial intelligence egregore crafted by Dracos, by very real biological entities. You've all been fooled. You've been tricked. Our empowerment of our natural right to be connected to our true self, purpose, and soul growth needs to be the focus for us all now to end this chapter of humanity, to move forward, to move beyond. The solution to humanity breaking the matrix once and for all was the underlying purpose of why I got on this video this morning, to help somehow maybe say the right thing or somehow turn a light bulb on, switch on for somebody. So it's really all I've got this morning. Please work with your energy centers. I mean, do not bother to study this tree of death, the inverse of the tree of life, the Illuminati perverted, the tree of death. Don't worry about all this stuff. We need to go down that road we've already been down. We don't need to go down that road, the dark side path. And dark and light sides in life, being balanced in the force, really nothing to get too excited about us. But a balance in our perceptions here as compared to our whole self's journey, soul evolution is important. This is something that too has been distorted here to keep us locked into this war of good and evil, light worker against dark worker. Well, I mean, what is good or evil, light or dark, and how it relates to attaining balance needs to be defined to take us away collectively from the light versus dark battle we've been locked into for far too long. Jedis and Sith. A dark-oriented being does not make it evil. A light-oriented being does not make it good. It's the choices and actions of each being that makes it good or evil. It's not what happens to the person, it's how they react to it. that is the key. Because the matrix will create situations for you, put you in situations that you're forced to make decisions, and how you react to it. Yes, that is everything. The choices all beings make are based on the perspectives that they have. Perspectives are truths that are taken up via the being's understandings of one's own self, and in terms of how the world, the universe, and even creation itself works. So knowing oneself thoroughly, no matter dark or light in origin, is what creates a balanced being. A being that can create its own energy without the need to sap it away from any other living being or system. All of the full spectrum of their frequencies, dark and light, are known, as we each are multidimensional beings who have both dark and light in us. A balanced being has no dark shadows within them that are not in the light, and vice versa. Light shadows in the dark. In the current dimension we live in, dualities are the primary mode of expression of our emotional, behavioral flow. There are archetypes that humanity gets stuck in, especially as we're waking up. First step to balancing is to recognize and admit what extreme polarity you are most often getting stuck at. This is key as shifting your focus to the fulcrum of balance and neutrality, in whichever of these poles will give you the center to keep returning to as you do the soul work to clear all of your energy centers. Power, acknowledgement, or be controlled, submissive, too nice. There's that sort of spectrum, that duality, power, acknowledgement, or being controlled, savior or martyr, be saved, rescuer or victim, grandiose or depression, you know, the whole, what is it? What's that called? When you're kind of, your polarities flip, your moods change, manic, depressive, bipolar. We all kind of get caught in one aspect or another, but meet these dualities in the middle by touching each end of them. Feel, smell, stumble long enough at each extreme end to know this is your big red thread of getting stuck, and gain the learnings from each choice and grow beyond them. Balanced in your sovereign will and intent to create your own energy. Doing this dance of the polar opposites in context of the whole you wish to attain back, you will teach you again just what it feels like to be your own balanced flow of each area of your life. Your energy center is managed. It feels very good to be in control, to be a master alchemist, to be able to control your energies. As Merlin said in the movie Excalibur, he was a dream to some and a nightmare to others. That's a master alchemist, your energies, how you can have control over your energies. The middle pillar, the unmovable natural tree of life in creation. Become the trunk of your own tree. In essence, that's what we're about at this point. We're not trying to point fingers and, you know, and get all upset at these evil Draco ETs, but we see the game, we understand the matrix, the layers of the matrix, and we aspire here at the Umbanda New Earth Education Center to become the trunk of our own tree of life. So, I hope this message finds you well. Namaste and namaskaram.